Well, hello and welcome. I've been back and forth with IT all day, and we should have our class up and running on the Desire to Learn network either this evening or tomorrow morning sometime. So again, thank you for your patience, and we should have all of the bugs ironed out fairly soon. I wanted to provide you with this video introduction. I like to use videos with online classes because it allows you to connect with me, at least see the mouth move and the voice, the source of the voice, and provide a little bit more personality to the class itself. I encourage each of you, you're welcome to each week upload an audio recording of your voice instead of typing out a response and putting that on our website discussions. Or you can upload a video like this as well, but let us be able to see or hear you would be fantastic. It adds, I think, to the learning experience. I wanted to do a few things with this introductory video. I wanted, one, to introduce myself, let you know who I am, where I'm coming from. I wanted to provide a few details on my expectations for this course and for sort of an online course in general, especially if you've never taken an online course. And three, I wanted to just kind of go over some things in the syllabus so that we all get started this summer semester on the same foot. Without further ado, I introduce myself. Anyway, my name is Aaron Conley. Anything, please refer to me as Aaron. You don't need to call me doctor or anything like that. I do have a PhD, though, that I earned about a year ago from the University of Denver and Iliff School of Theology. I did a joint graduate degree in that program over there in religion and social change, where I looked a lot at ethics and how we live our lives. I looked at history as well, and how one's understanding of history affects their ethics, affects what they do in society, what they think is right or not or whatever. A lot of issues of justice are this sort of my passion and concern. I have a wife of 10 years. Her name is Kelly, and two boys. One's 5, is Noah, and Elijah is 2 next week. You'll probably be hearing examples from my life that will come out of my interactions with them. Let me think. What else would you like to know about me? I was raised in Northern California. I grew up a Southern Baptist, and I'm no longer Baptist, but I still have some religious commitments. I do believe that knowledge is situated. So the more that you know about me, the more you'll be able to understand where I'm coming from with my ideas, perspectives, the way I approach life, what I think is important. I've already given you a few of those details, and more details about my own life and background will certainly come into play as we move throughout the week to week through this course in the summertime. In believing that knowledge is situated, knowledge has its most meaning. Knowledge is meaningful when we connect it up with the person, the people, the ideas that go into creating that knowledge. So that's a big sort of theoretical, philosophical way to explain the fact that I too want to hear about you and who you are, which is why I've asked for this first week each of you to provide sort of a one-page description of yourself, an introduction to yourself, and to post those on our website when that gets up and running, so that we all have access and can kind of start sort of familiarizing ourselves with who we're interacting with week in and week out in the class. Again, you'll hear more about who I am as we continue throughout the course, and so I leave my introduction sort of myself at that point. Some expectations for the course. So this is an online course, and taking an online course in the summer can be quite dangerous because the tendency is, especially on days like today, to spend all your time outside. I've lived in Colorado for about 8 years, and I try to spend most of my time outside if I can. I work construction 3 days a week. Some of that's with Habitat for Humanity in Denver, but the point is I'm outside as much as possible. But you got to be careful not to let the lure of the sunshine keep you from doing the readings and engaging the class in our discussions each week. The quality of the class, the quality of this overall quality of the course is going to be determined by how much each of us participate each week. So I don't have set times where we all have to meet up and video conference or listen to me or whatever. I pose all these things and I give us specific deadlines each week, right? So Mondays and Wednesdays, I think, are what we have on the syllabus for when the discussion things are due. That being said, you have all the time. You need to budget your time accordingly in order to get these readings read and your discussions posted and any other expectations for the class. If you at all fall behind in your readings, it's going to be to the detriment of you in student learning and to the class generally, because our discussions won't be nearly as rich, broad, or fruitful. So do your best to stay on top of the readings. Be as self-motivated as you possibly can, because your success in an online class really depends upon you getting up each day or whenever you're doing your work for this class and getting it done. We don't have the typical structure for accountability where you come into class and I have to look at you and you have to look at me, and sort of this expectation is that when you're in a face-to-face class, those accountability structures are built in. They're built in here in an online environment, just in a different way. So we're going to notice when you're absent from class, when you're not participating in discussion, when your analysis isn't deep because the reading hasn't been done or whatever it may be. So those are a few of the expectations for this course. One of the other, or two, oh, sorry, let me start again. Last expectation that's not listed in the syllabus is to do your best to rely on all of the resources available to you. Now again, in traditional face-to-face classes, we come into a classroom, we can have a conversation, you talk to your peers, your other students in the class before or after class, or you see them around campus or whatever. Since again we don't have that structure built in, you can still rely upon hold on, oh, that's better. Sorry, I stayed dormant for 5 minutes and the thing goes crazy on me. Anyway, I feel like I'm getting sidetracked a bit, so I apologize. These videos should be punctual and to the point. Anyway, what I mean is we still need to rely on one another for our education to be full and to sort of meet the needs of the class. Now, because we don't have a single class time during the week that we're all meeting, doesn't mean that you can't initiate outside of class conversations with the other students in the class. You just have to be more creative and in doing that. So a lot of my students in online classes in the past have all joined Facebook accounts or whatever. I'm so technologically savvy with my language of Facebook. You can email each other, set up IMs, or do whatever you need to do to continue conversations or ask further questions or complain about your professor or anything like that. That being said, please use those same methods of communication to talk to me about questions that you may have. Questions that may come up during the course, issues that you have, clarification that you need. I am here to help you and guide your learning as much as possible. Again, I'm approaching this class as it's primarily student-driven. You are the ones driving the conversations. You are the ones driving, based upon your interests, your knowledge, So use me as a resource to facilitate that as much as possible. We have a couple thematic essays due. We've got a final project. I'm going to be interested in how you're reading and citing the texts that we're reading. I want to know that you can formulate a thesis statement and argue it through in a logical manner. And all this you can run by me beforehand. So, finish your thematic essay a week early and send it to me to read, and I'll provide you feedback before, so you can revise it and turn it in for real on the due date.